Good morning.
Good morning. I was running behind this morning. Well,
That's
look, Jason's on. Woohoo!
Jason. Wow.
Good morning.
Wow. Man, I would have dried my hair. No, I ran
Oh, look at
completely
me.
out
No,
of
we would have done our makeup. No, I know I didn't.
I ran completely out of time this morning to do anything.
Oh my God.
It'll be like that.
I invited Alma, so we'll see if she'll be able to make it on because she's got mornings are her busy day time because she's got like 4 kids. So
Okay.
and
Well,
hopefully
yeah,
she'll be able to. But she's been plugging in. Got 2 customers. How about that?
That is
that is
awesome.
awesome.
That
So
was her
great.
mom and her grandmother. They just told she's got the support of her inner circle, which is awesome. So
Yeah, and also it's unheard of sometimes, so that's great.
exactly, because I don't have that. I don't have my mom.
Yeah.
Kathy, do you think you will have time to help me launch her?
Yeah.
Because I tell her, she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's available, during the day possibly. She said her husband works from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think the sooner we can get her launched, but she's plugging in. She's already got a calendar with all the meetings from Cairo, so I'm super excited about her. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, that she's plugging into everything. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can launch her. I think that the problem with me trying to do that video with all of us on was the fact that all of us were on, and I was trying to do it at the same time. I think with just a one-on-one.
Do you want me to do? Maybe you could reach out to her on our road to trade,
Yeah. I'll
and
do
then
that.
you just let me know if you need my help with anything. That'd be good. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, and you
But
can
Claire, one thing that I would recommend is that you be a part of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said one-on-one. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really regret not being a part of Maria's, Susanna's, Amanda's. Who else?
Yeah.
I mean, totally. If I had it to do over again, I would have insisted that I be there.
Yeah. But
Okay, no, definitely.
you can also redo that. You can ask for a redo, Michelle, and just relaunch them yourself, or I can team up with you and we can relaunch them and say, hey, this is too much to miss out on. And, what do you guys think? Do y'all want to do this?
That would be good. I mean, I think, it's different when they're brand new and they're excited. They're just getting started. They don't have any preconceived notions of anything.
Yeah.
Once they're in, they get a taste of it. They get a taste of it's harder than what some people, are anticipating. So the excitement's not there, I think. And
initially, you're also have information overload. You're excited. You're not always paying full attention to something, and there's so much information coming at you left and right. Because honestly, you think about it, how much do we want to try to inform them? But there's a certain point the brain shuts down and just doesn't. There's a saturation. So I think Kathy's idea was excellent to relaunch them and go over some of the stuff again.
And we could actually call it a relaunch, and I could actually put something together and make it a relaunch.
Absolutely.
Hey, you guys, I got an idea. Our thing is rise up to relaunch, or something like that.
Yeah.
Call it rise up to relaunch or something to that effect.
Yeah, and I could, shorten it from what, Casey's is.
Yeah.
Let me think about that, and I'd like to put something together to get people re-engaged, because we're missing out on some good people.
Absolutely.
And even with Karen, she's, I think this is a better time for her now. So,
did Karen already get launched or no?
No. Karen, this past weekend was the 1-year anniversary of her son's death. So she's really, so inundated with that. But I think now she might be able be a little bit more focused, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely. I would be more than happy to be a part of that too.
Okay. All right.
So do you think it's best to do like like for us, a 2-on-1
Yeah.
launch? Or do you think since we have several that need to be relaunched, to do it all at once? That's going to be too much, you think? Give them better one-on-one attention if it's just individual ones?
One-on-one,
I'm sorry, Candace?
just one at a time, because
Yeah, I agree.
some people might be reserved in talking, or I don't know. I think just one
No,
person.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful point. No, that's
We
good.
did a group launch at Casey's when I first got in, and it was a lot of information, and I remember it being so cold I couldn't see straight.
'Cause it's cold in his house. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yes. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mine was
think
at
one-on-one is good.
Fuddruckers. It was a one-on-one, but he was rushed to go see another person. So I didn't feel like it was all the way complete, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I like the 2-on-1 idea.
Okay.
And yeah. And then I like the relaunch idea too. So I'm gonna get my stuff together.
Well, yeah, if maybe we could do a tryout with Alma, do one, because I really don't want to wait too long, because
Right.
strike it while it's still hot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Without the week.
I'm sorry, especially when she's obviously in. I'm glad that she got 2 customers, but obviously it was her family. But you don't know what she's saying to people, so you definitely want to
Right.
Right.
launch properly, because you don't want her to start telling other people, and
Yeah.
then she might get no's or something. You know what I mean? Like, make sure she is launched pretty quick.
Yeah, because we all did that at the beginning, threw up blueberries. I know I did. So
Yeah.
okay, good.
Cool. Yep.
We'll
let's
talk
do it.
offline, Kathy, about it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. We'll get her launched, and it just, even if it's the video, the existing video that we have, Casey's launch video, and we can our onboarding, and we can fast forward through part of it, to get the urgency, and we can stress to her the urgency, and we know that you're out there, you're ready to get going, and so let's get you some good information to get started with. So yeah, great idea, Candace, too, to make that happen right away. And let me get relaunch stuff together, and we can reach out to Maria, Amanda, whoever wants to be a part of that. I think even even Kyle. I've talked to Kyle separately, and I think I've got him steered the right direction. But I was just thinking in the shower a little while ago that there was, it's like there's always one more thing I need to there's one more thing. So anyway, so I'm going to reach back out to him too, and see, maybe he might just want to do a one-on-one Zoom and just chat for a minute and get some of his questions out there, and so I'll do that as well.
Kathy, you can label your training just one more thing.
Just one more thing. Yeah.
And that way they got to pick up at least whatever you go over on your relaunch. You got to pick up at least one thing out of it, and it'll be a benefit. By the way,
Yeah.
I saw Jason this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Rob. How you doing?
Fabulous and improving.
Standing.
I like that. Fabulous and improving. My favorite, though, I had a guy that I used to deal with on a regular basis, and his name's Alan Tate, and his answer was always, if I were any better, I'd be twins. I love that one. Sometimes we need a twin or a clone, right? We need a clone.
Or 10.
Yes, yes, we do. So yesterday we went over a lot of the stuff from the convention and from the Team Fusion virtual breakout session, and Claire had mentioned that she's gone back and checked out some of the breakout sessions on the convention site. Anybody else have anything, any great aha moments that they'd like to share or anything?
I haven't watched them yet, but I'm planning to do that today. So I will be busy doing that.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet either.
We just need to make sure we do it because it's not going to be there forever. So
Right. 30 days, I think.
Yep.
yeah,
27.
and that'll go by fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
27, TikTok, they're going.
I mean, my gosh, I can't believe that next weekend is Memorial Weekend. It just dawned on me.
Right.
It's
Well,
like,
and where are we with our goals for the month of May?
I need to get some customers, and I need at least one more business partner. I'm on a car run right now, car qualified run. So right now is the best time to do it since I'm getting the extra volume with Alma. I need to take advantage of this time. So that's my goal, and my other goal is to get her to Jade. Get her to Jade as soon as possible. So.
Right, and you placed her under
Shandi.
Shandi. Okay.
And Casey suggested me doing that, and he also suggested me reaching out to Shandi. So I reached out to him, and he obviously knows. He goes, "Oh, thank you for the new business partner. I'll reach out to her." I'm not sure if I really need him to reach out, but I told him that's awesome. I said I'm trying to help you build your business as well as Cece's. So hopefully it'll motivate him because he hadn't done anything really at all.
Right.
So,
right.
So we'll see. And my next person's going to go underneath Alma, so that way we can build that leg up a little bit.
Yeah. So what did Casey just said, reach out to Shandi and let him know?
Just to let him know, to maybe it'll wake him up and kind of get him motivated to see that all he needs is one more person, another leg, and he can start really moving. So.
Right. Well, what I would do is, you got the conversation started with Shandi, and that was on Messenger.
Yes.
Okay.
And he answered me at 1 a.m. I was asleep. So.
Okay. So perfect. So you can go back now and say, yeah, that's great. That you have her on your team, and I hope we can all work well to work together and get you. Him, Shandi, promoted to the, I would focus on him, throw it back on him.
Okay.
Instead of her, yeah, he's wanting to reach out to her and congratulate her or whatever. Thanks. She's super excited right now, and hopefully this will get you, to your next level. What can we do to help you get there? So there's that. What can we do? It's a we thing. We're all doing this together. We're all riding this wave together. We're all climbing up the mountain together. Whatever it is, we're doing it together. So
that's right.
What can we do to get you to the next step, or to help you? And maybe throw out his numbers at him too. Pull up his numbers.
Okay.
And share those with him and say, hey, you're X points away from, Garnet or whatever. Yeah. Let's get you promoted.
Because he needs at least his minimum so he can get a check. And because I don't think he's even met his minimum any month.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's using the products. If that's the case, I don't know. I need to look
Right.
at it.
Right. So check it out and say, let him know that you're there for him. And we
Oh, I
will
will.
let him know that we're there for him. He's been talking to Casey, but, something as simple as, Casey talks at this level, up here. And sometimes we need to meet him in the middle with some of the stupid questions that they may be thinking, oh, this is such a stupid question and I can't ask Casey because he's up here. It's like,
Right.
Meet him in the middle and say, do you realize that if you just order a triangle of health for the month, that makes you a garnet? I don't know what his situation is, but you get the point.
I do. Yes, thank you. I'll write notes, so thank you.
You're welcome. So, anybody else have anyone right there? That's also going to put Terry and Cece in a good spot. So, I'll get with them as well.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Was Cece launched? We might need to get her launched too.
Good question.
And I don't know about Shambi, because I know Terry said that Casey pretty much took him, was working with him.
Casey launched Shandi. Casey worked arm in arm with him, and Shandi's not doing anything. So
You know what? I really feel like we need to be a part of it so we can hear their why, know their why, to be able to bring it back to them when things are kind of, on the downside. That's one thing I really regret, is not being a part of their launches.
Yeah.
We're gonna relaunch them, Michelle. We're gonna get them. We're gonna be involved. So that's good.
That is good.
So we all just tap back into this Kairos system. What is the Kairos process right now for launching their new partners?
That boot camp on Wednesday. I think it's that boot camp on Wednesday, right, Rob?
Get me up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Miles does it every Wednesday, and it's not always the same. That's kind of the beauty of it. He covers most of the basics, or whatever, but Miles always gets fired up and he shoots from the hip.
Yeah. But a boot camp, if it's not always the same, then it's not a launch.
Agreed.
He covers the same information, kind of. It's just the way he delivers it might be a little different. He, because it's basically, getting plugged in and have you ever checked it out, Jake?
I have not. No, I've only seen the Power Hour. And
well, if you get a chance, check out at least one time. Check out that boot camp. I like it. I've looked at it a couple of times. That's probably one of the reasons why I was motivated to start over. I said, these are things I could be doing again, So
I've been on a couple of them. It's pretty strong. So
yeah.
I think if people are looking at it, as a launch, I don't know. I think you have to be really committed and definitely fired up to take what he's saying, to heart. I think it might be a little bit, if I was brand new, and I even thought about that as I was listening to it. If I was brand new, how would I feel about the way that he's, expressing himself? I think I would feel like, oh my gosh, just a little kind of taken back a little bit. But I mean, everybody's different, so.
But you're right, Michelle, because I didn't look at it in that way, because I've already been here forever. But so I guess if I do it, I would take a look at it again and try to put the shoes on of a person that just started.
Right.
Use that mindset.
Yeah.
So, your original question, Jake, I don't know what Kairos is doing other than that.
I wonder if there's something.
I want to say that I do. I want to say that I just had that conversation with someone.
There's a checklist or something that he sends out after that. and he says you go through the checklist, but I haven't really looked closely to that checklist.
Well, I think probably part of what's on there is most likely building your network marketing business and rise of the entrepreneur. And that's the beautiful thing about having people watch those, go through both of those, is once they've gone through that, that's 75% of the launch. If they've gone through those, that's the mindset of what it's going to take to build this business, as well as what did they really get involved in as far as the industry of network marketing, so they know how huge it is. That's a huge part of the loan. The only other thing from there is just making sure that they know the ins and outs of the system we have in place as far as what calls are when and what's, what they need to be tapping into on a regular basis. And
We lost you. You froze.
Hey, I was just looking at my back office. It's so funny. It says webinar 90-day business launch. It's
That's what it was. That's what it was.
it's in your back office. And every Wednesday over the next 90 days, Tiny will be conducting a special series of Wednesday webinars called 90-Day Business Launch with Kyanie top leaders, combining inspirational, motivational, practical skills and know-how to help you take the steps you need to launch your business to the next level. So I don't think this is the initial launch, but this is something that we could all benefit from.
It was, who was talking about it? Dang it. And it was the key things like Jake was saying, rise of the entrepreneur, Jim Rohn, and the launch that was in the, and I swear it must have been in the back office. That it was three things. I don't know where I put that.
There is a document on the TFX page.
Yes.
And it's called TF Launch Final.pdf. I just shared it so you can
Okay.
kind of go see. It's basically that, the checklist,
Yes.
and then the script. I don't know if all the information on there is up to date with the home, with all the different websites and everything. But it's basically.
This might be the one that Miles shares after his boot camp. I don't know. I couldn't open it, but I'll look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's got to be it. Because we used to have, it was like 4 pages with the, including, and we all had that. And I think this is simple enough to have. Does it actually say on there to,
There's another one from Sarong Kong, but that was a BOC with Sarong Kong, but it talks about being launched.
yeah.
yeah, this is very similar to what we've used in the past. And they also had a recording that went along with it where James Bradford he walked you and your new business partner through the launch document. And so this document is designed to be super simple, where any business partner can sit down with their new partner and literally just walk them through it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the other key things. We were talking about the group launch and how it's effective in the sense that it's a good use of time management, but it's less effective in the sense that people don't get the full effect. You've still got to go back and clarify things, and like you guys said, in group atmospheres people don't tend to share everything, especially when their new business partner just enrolled them. or their business partner just enrolled them, that's the person that has the relationship. So the more people you get involved in the process that aren't that person that just brought them into the business, the less effective it may be. But I would not want to see any more than two people, two business partners getting together with a new business partner to get them launched, because any more than that, it's overwhelming. And ideally, the best, really and truly the best is a one-on-one launch. Or if you have two people there, one business partner is driving the launch and the other one is basically just sitting there and listening.
Right. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kathy, you could drive and I'll sit and listen.
Right. You're right. That would definitely be the, whoever the upline is going to have the floor, and then,
Right. And that's very effective because your partner that you're bringing in to help you with the launch, in an ideal world, like with Kathy or myself, we're very much the driver personality. So we're going to develop that connection, but we're going to be there to move through the launch and stay focused on the action steps. And for a lot of us, that's what we need, because if we're just doing it solely on our own, this is our friend or somebody we've known for a long time, and you spend an hour talking about their why, and then all of a sudden you haven't done anything, right? So that's going to be the key, and maybe that's the route we should go. Sounds like Kathy, you're good with that. So yeah, that will be good, because it's not exactly like good cop, bad cop or anything like that, but the same sort of scenario where you've got moral support there, but then you've got the person that's meant to put you in action.
Right. So you've got.
I think it just brings more of a team atmosphere. Honestly, I really and truly do.
Yeah, and that's fine. But if you start tacking in,
Right. No,
then
I agree.
it's uncomfortable for people, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they're sitting down at an interview or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I like that idea. And I think that's probably the best way to do it. Whoever enrolled the person along with a leader, Kathy, Jake, or David, Daniel, whoever, and then we can make sure. I think that, and because Michelle is right. It was key. She should have been in those other launches.
It just the
Because she has no
relationship part.
idea what their why is and stuff like that.
Exactly. Leela
they don't-
or Griselle and Joe, not a clue. Not a clue. And I have nothing to go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not all of us have had that. I had that with my single business partner of 2019. That happened to me too. And it makes it very difficult if you're not involved at least a little bit in that launch process. It's very difficult to follow up with them, and sometimes even to stay in contact with them after that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like we got a little plan going here, y'all.
It just builds
Good.
that relationship, and that's what this business is all about, is building relationships, and that's what we need to focus on. The system might have been easier for us, but for me it wasn't effective. So
Well, you need to have a blend of both, for sure.
absolutely, I agree.
Okay, the main thing that we're doing right now is just, reaching out to people, hey, how's it going? What are you doing during this, this mess? How are you doing? And having conversations with people. Just make sure that we're continuing to do that. And Kyle asked me an example, asked, what about people that I talked to a few years ago? What do you say to somebody that when you first got started and you threw up blueberries on them? And I said, we'll start with, hey, how you doing during all this mess? It's the same thing, right? Hey, what's going on? How are things going with you right now? How are you dealing with the situation? And if they turn around and say, well, we're doing all right. We've got this going on. I can tell you, my husband got a cut in pay. We're dealing with that, whatever. And then, well, how are you? Okay. Remember the hamburger method? This is where the hamburger method comes into play. you know, things are great with me right now. Even if they're not, you always say they're great. Things are great. It's great. I'm super excited about, um, this could have been a really bad time for me, but because, I have this plan B that has turned into my plan A, things are pretty great right now. So tell me how, and this, we always go back to, Susie's always my default person. So tell me, what about little Susie? Isn't she graduating this year? Oh my gosh, time flies. Put it back on them. And then they're going to talk all about little Susie. You tell them give them a piece of the meat, but go back to the other stuff and just have those conversations. So, and you don't feel like it has to be rushed. Your goal is not to get a customer by the end of the hour or a team member by the end of the hour. That's not our goal. Our goal is to have the conversation and build a relationship and help them to have, trust in you as a friend. And again, maybe you haven't talked to them in a while. So any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I shared a message that I was using before COVID, and I shared the most recent one that I've been using since COVID started. And hang on here. And those are messages I've been sending to people from my HubSpot. So and those are like old leads that were prospects of my prospects or prospects of my team members from 2018 or 2019. So these are all people that I have not talked to in at least 1 to 2 years. And that's the simple message that I've been using to go back and reconnect with them. And it's basically exactly what you just said, Kathy. It's the same sort of language, and just saying, hey, it's been a long while since we talked. How are you doing? I wanted to check in on you. And the response rate has been pretty good, probably about 60%, I would say.
Awesome.
And it just kicks that conversation off. The big thing though, and this is kind of what I was mentioning yesterday because I didn't get a chance to talk during the call, is we all need to be very cognizant and just, ask yourself the honest question, okay, A, am I having conversations? If the answer is yes, great. B, and this is the important thing, how am I progressing these conversations? Am I just sitting there and chatting back and forth for days or weeks on end? Or am I very aware of where this conversation is and getting it to a peak state? You have to move that conversation along and, if it's just back and forth, spend a day or two building that rapport, or maybe a little bit longer if you really need to. But at the end of the day, you've got to pull the trigger. And it's kind of like when we're building rapport and having that conversation, it's kind of like standing at the edge of the pool or the edge of the water at a lake or whatever, and just standing there thinking, well, I want to get in the water, but it might be a little bit cold. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. And that moment where we jump into the water is when we go for the peak, right? And obviously we want to try and make the peaks as natural as possible, but the big thing I've learned too is that you can talk with some people for months and they will not give you the opportunity for a natural peak. And so at that point, you kind of just have to jump into the water, if you will, and push yourself out of that comfort zone and just try something. Use some sort of message to see if you can get a peek out of them. And that was the key to those messages I sent out yesterday. It's just like, it can just even be as simple as, hey, you know what? Whether you've told them about Kiani or not, you say, hey, you know what? My business is expanding again. And you just use an indirect approach. Do you know anybody who's maybe interested in increasing their income right now, or maybe even totally transforming their life or their lifestyle, right? And they're going to come back to you with yes or no. Either they're going to have some interest or they're not. And if they do, if they've got some interest, then that's a great segue into plugging them into an exposure, because we've got something every day now. And if they say, no, not really, well, then that's awesome too, because that you've now created an opening where the conversation can naturally flow into product and business. Just say, hey, well, that's totally cool. I understand. You know, just keep me in mind if you come across anybody. But hey, in the meantime, have I ever really shown you what it is that our company does?
Right.
And maybe it's yes. And if it's yes and they weren't interested, totally cool. Just say, okay, great. I'm glad that I showed you that. You know, we do have a couple new products that just came out. You may be interested in them. But if not, just please keep me in mind. If you come across anybody who's very health conscious, or especially anybody who's having some challenges with their health, please keep me in mind. And that's the biggest thing with probably 6 or 7 out of 10 people, that's going to be the kind of conversation you have, because the majority of people aren't going to be ready to jump right in. So the majority of people, you're basically just going out there with a goal of making sure that, at least, if nothing else, you want to make sure that they know what it is you do or what it is you have to offer, even if it's not for them, or maybe it's not for them right now. At least they know that it's you that does that. Same thing in real estate, right? I understand that not everybody is looking to buy or sell a house every year, but I'm not doing a very good job. If they don't at least know that I'm a realtor, then
Right.
I'm doing a horrible job. And some of us, you know, I've even had that in my business too, where we could be talking to somebody for 2 years and they might not even really know what it is that we do. So that's the biggest thing that we
Yeah. That's
push
great.
ourselves in, because there's nobody. The thing is, there's nobody there to push us in the water. At some point, we've got to look at, like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I've been standing in front of this water for a week now, 2 weeks now, and I just won't get in the damn thing. I want to get in, but I'm not going to do it. So we've got to push ourselves and be very cognizant of that. So as you're having conversations, A, ask yourself, am I having conversations? And then B, ask yourself honestly, am I doing a good job of being consciously aware of where these conversations are going? You know, if they're not progressing, is it because the person doesn't want it to progress, or is it because I'm standing there at the edge of the water and I'm afraid to try and peek them?
Mm, that's great. That's great stuff. And yeah, and then you know, you'll stand there and stand there and stand there, and then you know, then it thunders and you can't get in the water. So you waited too long.
Yep, exactly. And the opportunity passes. And the truth of the matter is, you know, you wait there too long, and then somebody else is doing the same thing, and they jumped in the water, and now
Right?
that person has a new customer or a new business partner.
Oh my gosh, how many times has that happened? Has that happened to anybody on here? I mean, it's like where they've jumped into another organization. It's like, you know, why? Because, you know, because I was standing on the side. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jake. And yeah, I let Kyle know I did tell him to take a look at the scripts that you put out there yesterday. You know, those are helpful as well. You know, just getting different options of different things to say. You know, yeah, we're having conversations, but you know, we need to ask the question too. You know, this is a business and this is what we're doing and this is how I'm making my income right now. Because, you know, in Kyle's case, you know, he's an actor. Okay, hello. They're not working right now. They're on YouTube saying, when are we coming back? I saw Blue Bloods yesterday. They're all meeting remotely on Zoom and stuff. So anyways, so yeah, so this is your business. Treat it like a business. Remember to ask the right questions, you know, to you know, and don't be shy to tell people this is what I'm doing, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I had this plan B. Oh my gosh, you know, I would have been trying to figure things out right now, but instead it's like, I know, you know, and right along with it, perfect timing, the companies came out with, you know, some new products and new you know, systems. You know, they're just really helping us out right now to get us to the next level. So Yeah.
I like the way Jake shared the stand at the water, because guess what? I think I've been standing at the water for quite a while, longer than a few days. So on a lot of my conversations. Yesterday I did, we have an Axe sister from her, it's a customer or former customer of Candace's. And she reached out to me and she reached out to me and was asking me how I was doing. And I've had a few people do that lately. And I need to really develop these conversations. But we ended up, she asked me if I was working. I said, no, girl, I haven't been working out. She goes, well, I've been wanting to, she's real depressed. And I said, well, let's go for a walk. So we went for a walk yesterday. Girl, y'all, I walked 4 miles. So we talked the whole time, and turned out she got laid off and she's at home, and her husband used to travel, but he doesn't travel anymore. That they're starting to, she said home base doesn't have to be used. And I said, it sounds like you need an online business. It might help you. She already knows about Kayani and everything, and she loved the products, but she quit taking them. Why, I don't know. But so we had a long conversation. At the end, I found out her why. We were walking for almost 2 hours, and a lot of things. She's not ready for Kayani yet, but that I'm not going to give up on her. But the thing is, I planted that little seed. Tell her, this is a perfect online business. This is what I'm doing on the side. She knows, she's seen our success. So we'll go from there on that one. So
Did you let her know that you're about to be car qualified?
I did. Okay. I sure did. And, we talked about a lot of different things, sharing.
Right. That's good.
The 4 miles went by so fast. I didn't even realize I walked over a 5K. It was crazy. My legs are feeling it today. But anyway, with that said, these conversations, she used to be a customer. She was a customer of Candace's. And Candace kept saying, Mom, you can bring her back on. I said, I'm going to have a conversation. She's your customer, but we're in this together. So, we'll see how that goes. To be continued, I guess I should say to y'all. But I did discover she wants to help people. She wants to volunteer. She wants, to do something significant. So that's really cool that I was able to learn all that about her.
Right. Well, that also it tells you, and so I don't know how you keep track of your people, but sometimes even something as simple as plugging that information into your phone under contacts and just additional notes. And so the next time that there's a Caring Hands event, anything locally, that, include her, bring her on. Didn't we have a fantastic time at the food bank?
I loved it. We should still do that. I think they're still looking for volunteers.
Right. So, and that shows us all, working together and what we do, and somebody that wants to help people. That's a perfect setup for them to see, that we have our business, we make money, we volunteer, we help out with, the community. And so, so if you can, I don't know if you put it in the notes on your contact. This is a Jason question. If you put something like Caring Hands in your notes on a person on their contacts, I wonder if you search Caring Hands, if it would pull that contact up. I don't know.
I haven't played with that. I don't know either. I'll find out for you.
That would be a good idea. Or, have a, here we are, me and Miss Eva, put a page that has, that person, or put Caring Hands at the top of a page, and everybody that, is interested in Caring Hands or interested in helping people, I would list them down there. These people are all about, giving back to the community and volunteering and stuff like that. So when it came time to have a Caring Hands event, you might reach out to them and say, hey, Michelle, we've talked before about how much you love to volunteer and everything. Would you like to go with us to the food bank? We're doing, the company that I'm a part of is doing this, and we always have a great time.
You could create a grouping for volunteers or whatnot in your contacts, and each one that wanted to be like to do a volunteer, potential volunteers, you could
Okay.
add them to that particular group.
Okay, that's a cool idea too.
That's a good idea, because that's probably what I would do. That's a good
I
idea.
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, in our conversation, real quick, she did tell me something that I thought this was a really good nugget to learn. She says she has, she left Kyani. She quit taking it because she's always looking for the next best thing. And I was like, okay. And she has a friend that's doing something else nutritional, whatever, products and supplements. And she reaches out to her, and she said that it's quite pricey, like $300 a month or something. I don't know what it is. I didn't ask her. And she said that I always know whenever she reaches out to me, it's not genuine. She goes, when she sends me a note, she'll say, oh, how you doing? We have small talk. But at the end of every conversation, she asks me, well, have you thought about blah, blah, blah? So she says, and her main thing, when I mention about the business side, she goes, I'm not into sales, which is what a lot of people say. I said, girl, I'm not either. I'm not good into sales either. But when she mentioned this, she goes, but I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like my friend where I'm having conversations with people, and in my head, I have that ultimate goal to, try to sell something. In her mind, that's what that is. And how many times have we gone in and had a conversation and we don't really feel genuine?
Right.
And that kind of made me feel, because there has been a few like that. And I need to realize.
Jake just covered that though.
Right.
Loved it. Because
I love it too. And
yeah, because it's like, hey, I'm into health and wellness. When you're out looking for something, I want you to remember me.
Right.
I don't want you pulling into the local GNC. I want you to think of me. And so that's why I'm telling you, not to be pushy or anything like that. And Lord, no, girl, if you want to do your own thing and it's working for you, that's fine. But I want you to know, in case you hear of anybody that needs something, I've got it. Or, or skincare. Oh my gosh, if you hear of anyone looking for all natural skincare, I've got the best in the market, and it's a fair price too. So, so that's a.
Well, I want to add in on what Claire had to point out. This is one of the nuggets I took away from the Dallas Regional a couple months back.
Mm-hmm.
Claire, I think you do have the reputation of being the most genuine in the group, but probably the Jade Factory, you drip on people. I mean, you just have a history of taking a year or two, and it works. So you can do this. But what I liked what they said, one of the people got up and contributed, said, listen, just be right up front with people. Hey, I'm calling you for such good. We got a new product, but first let's catch up. Let's, we'll get back to that in a minute. The main purpose of my calling you is this, but I would love to catch up on you. And so right up front, they know, instead of waiting like your friend who said the other person that contacts her, she always ends at the very end. Well, don't put it at the end. Put it at the front. Say, hey, I'm contacting you for this, but let's catch up. Let's talk about it. Hamburger, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think it's much better just to get it out of the way right up front, let them know the purpose of the call, and then get to the personal.
Right. Well, and that there's also Mary Kay training on that as well, where you pick up the phone and you call them. You say, hey Claire, the reason why I'm calling is we've got this great special that's on our skincare. When would you have a few minutes, or do you have 10 minutes now where I can chat with you, or when would be a good time for me to call you back? So you let them know that this is what's going on, and then that way, it's like this is why I'm calling you, and then when you're having the conversation with them about no, I don't need that, then you build on the relationship there and say, so how are things going? How, it's the second thing, but not, the whole thing with that was allowing the time, asking for the time. This is why I'm calling, and do you have 15 minutes to chat with me about it? And and I'd also like to catch up. I love that. I'd also like to catch up with you. So, to see how things are going during this. But, it's great, Rob, to get that out in the open right up front.
I like that, Robin. I'm going to give it a try on some of the people that, know what I'm doing. Also, I think my action item today, my action plan for this week and today mainly, is to reach out to my existing customers and let them know the changes and how excited I am. Because I'm still excited about LA. I don't want it to die down. I want it to keep going and let them know what's new. And I know they all got emails, because we all got emails as customers. So I just want to kind of, hey, did you get the email that kindly sent about what's new? Let them know about the 90-day challenge and all that good stuff. So I encourage y'all to do the same. If you have customers, even customers that are no longer customers, because I have a lot of those, and I'm trying to re-engage those. So
right,
I have to get to work, guys. So love you guys, and hopefully I can get Alma on tomorrow, because I really would like to introduce y'all to her.
Yeah. And since she's already been on the at the convention and all of that, I would get her on the boot camp call tonight. I mean,
Tomorrow, yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep
Wednesday.
thinking today's Wednesday.
And if you could post something on our Road to Jade for her to see if we can get something scheduled to launch her, because I did tell her we're going to launch her really soon. And she's open to. She is. Let me put it this way: she is so coachable. And so we got to get her now.
Okay.
All right, guys. Love you guys. I got to go.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
See you,
Bye,
Jason.
Claire. Bye,
We've
Claire.
already
Good
lost
to
a
see
few
you.
people, so, and it's already way after 8:30. So y'all have a terrific day. Holy cow!
We're gonna make this call an hour long.
I know.
Bye.
Y'all have a great day. It was great seeing you, Jason. Join
Very
us
good seeing you
anytime.
too. Will
All
do,
right.
definitely. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.